And now
Mhm.
we have this amazing wealth of events at the table as played by a wide variety of people
Mhm.
to draw upon that could indeed serve as rather good example moments.
Mhm.
And
I
so
I
that's a
mean
task for me to consider.
I mean even that I will use very simple example. Sorry. Like if I say, okay, my character barbarian like hits someone's with their axe, I can show that barbarian is my character and it's
Right.
my character because it does this and this, that I control it, something like this in this direction maybe.
No, I hear you. I mean, very, very basic things, very key things can be demonstrated. But now I have that bank, that wealth of material actually to use as these clipped out moments that I can use for even phenomenological examples, right? It's easy for talking about play as an experience. That's really easy. You can grab practically anything at random and, figure out what you can say about it as play as an experience. Phenomenology is a little bit different, but yes, the best way to do it is actually to show what I'm talking about. And I think that's a really good point. If this became a more powerful presentation, one of the big strengths I hope it would have is that it would have pieces of play actually in it to see.
Um
Wait, hold on. Oh, sorry. Is it okay if we go to Anthony and then back to you, or do you want to follow up on
uh,
that?
a short sentence.
Okay.
Me.
Yeah.
I was thinking whether it's very important to call the video phenomenology because um,
Oh, certainly not. Good Lord, no.
it's
I
a
mean,
complicated term.
oh yeah.
Like I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
could
It's
I
kind
could
of
I
like
could introduce it just as a casual throwaway term in the first video.
I kind of
Right.
know it, but every time I have to check it in the dictionary.
No, no, I hear you. I hear you exactly. No, I totally get that. That makes a lot of sense. So Anthony, where were we at? What's up?
Okay, well, I had one thing I wanted to share, but because of what we just listened to, I now have two things. So I apologize for that.
Damn you all.
I'll,
Yeah, right.
I'll try to make it really short. I'll start with the shortest one first, which was just in capturing moments of play. Um, in the Musketeers thing that you mentioned that we recorded, um, there was one solo session, one game master and myself as player, which when it was over, it left us both with a very strong emotional reaction, and we felt like, wow, this is a fantastic session. I can't wait until people watch it. And we shared it in our small circle of friends. Hey, this session was really great, and we're met with absolutely no
Oh,
reaction
oh my
whatsoever.
God. Ouch. Uh-huh.
And well, one of the places I shared it was where we talk about specific techniques of role play, like how to deal with specific things. And of course, the answer came back was, "What are you trying to show us?" And and I was not really sure what to say at that point because I thought it was obvious. And the question that came back was, "There's very little communication going on. The game master's talking, and then there's a lot of silence, and then there's a little bit of you talking, but mostly it's a silent, non-descriptive episode."
Oh, but that means you guys were processing. You were gazing into each other's eyes, and the heat was rising. And I know what you're
Not
talking
so much.
about. I know exactly what
Not
you're
so much.
talking about. Yeah.
Yes, we were caught up in it,
Hmm.
and as it goes on, we describe less and less, and
Right.
we're imagining more and more. This is
I
a
hear you.
common
Yeah.
experience that we've all had. So I had to go back through the video and put in annotations of what's going on in my head, and
Right.
then conversation exploded about what was going on because some of the players or some of the people watching it did not want to play that way or
Right.
had never played that way
Right, right.
or
So they didn't even know what they were looking at in the first place either. Yeah. Or and even if you did, just watching the video cold, you might not actually realize that's happening. that's a good point. I'm thinking about the RuneQuest game, Helma, and the way that Sandra might not talk for a while, and then she'd either just put in one phrase about what her character was going to do, and the rest of us would just sort of stop and realize just how much processing had been going on back there until she said that. And we're like, that's what you take away from that? Oh no, we're in trouble now. Um, very
Right
true.
on.
Okay.
So that.
Well, we've been going on for some time, and I want to appreciate everybody. Thank everybody for arriving. Ross, was there something else you wanted to say or bring in?
No, not really.
Okay. Anybody else? You can call it for now, or with Sean? Yeah. Oh, great. All right. Here we go, everybody. Sure. Sean first.
Okay. This may be down the road another video, but I thought, and I think it was a part 2 where you laid out, backdrop and situation and outcome narrative and all that. It occurred to me that, and not giving it numbers, not making one better than the other, but you could apply those to design and with like levers. It's like high backdrop, low narrative. You just as a visual model for designing your system, you could use that as a sort of a lever system. Not giving it numbers, maybe do nothing more than low, medium, high, whatever. But then you could, as also as a means of talking about it. My system is high narration, or it's low backdrop. Just as an idea of down the line if you get to a design.
Well, the design curriculum
video.
I did with Justin, I think, was really kind of brought to mind what I wanted to do with talking about design. One thing I actually didn't want to do was to make a modular toolkit,
Right.
Which is what everybody wants. Ron, they've been asking for this for 20 years. Ron, where's the modular toolkit? I want you to open your toolbox and to pick, okay, I want to pick my knobs and switches and turn my dials so my game looks like this, right? With all the
Ron,
pieces. There's a tool
where
for
are my
each piece.
moves, Ron?
Yeah.
Where
right.
are my moves?
Exactly. And so I've actually tried to get away from that to some extent, but using these as principles for the design videos when I make them, clearly, in some, okay, now we're going to get practical, right? We're going to talk about options, perhaps. All right, Greg, what did you have in mind?
I just wanted to say about the purpose of play. I mean, it really helped me myself to understand when and why some of my games were dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really helps. And I think there is a bias here. I mean, I don't analyze enough functional games because we don't need it worked, and I think it's really interesting to see functional game and functional sessions and to analyze them with what you ask.
Valuable. I mean, I think even experiencing them and then watching yourself, your own experience with Sorcerer was clearly revelatory only upon rewatching it for you.
Yeah, no, clearly, incredibly. And the RunQuest game, which is a functional game for me. I mean, I understand a lot of things just by watching the RunQuest game. Really the interaction of authorities, I posted about it. And I think it's really good. We have to post functional games and analyze it.
Right. Well, I definitely, that's part of what I'd really wanted to explore here in Adept Play was what does it look like to do? I actually, in perhaps a counter to what you're saying, I've actually been considering asking people, whoa, is everybody, did I lose everybody? Something seems to have happened. Did we lose sound somehow?
I'm good. I didn't have any problem.
I'm good. I can hear you.
I'm good. Okay,
yeah,
excellent.
we can hear you.
Excellent. Well, I was just thinking that one thing I was planning on doing in Adept Play was to post some of the less good moments as such, like actually as clips, and say, all right, let's stink up the joint. And remember, that great musicians don't. You're not great because you're brilliant every time, right? That's not what makes a great musician. And so,
But that
yeah, go ahead, Greg.
that's my point. We need the two. I think.
Right.
Myself, I only post my dysfunctional game. I generally don't post my functional game, and
Right.
I think we need the two.
Right. I think Greg's cutting in and out. Okay, so anyway, I hear you. I think getting both up there. Claudio, last thing. I got
Yeah,
to
last
close it
thing.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I just noticed that you put purpose at the end, and it's just very interesting because in the original set of theory that you made, obviously, agenda was the thing that came first, and then it led everybody to like think of that as like the most important thing and not being able to read past it. And I just think,
Right.
yeah, you
Well,
should keep it like
this is
that.
all Zach's fault, and he's sitting right here, so you can all right. You can all get him now. And
How
I've said
so?
this several times in several different interviews, and so I'll just repeat it now, and I'll paraphrase what Zach said to me. And he said that in his experience, people's problem with role playing was medium based. They could not get the medium to work in their groups. And when they played or they sat down to play and they didn't feel like they were really contributing to the medium and how things just go. And they'd spent, and a lot of people really just became good at faking it, faking their way along in the group. And therefore, Anthony, and so therefore, he said to talk about purpose of play was a first world problem, and that you are, that you're not going to get anywhere talking to people who are struggling with the medium when you're talking about the purpose of what you do with the medium, and that we need to move back to talking about how does this medium actually go at all, and have people realize or be more honest about their struggles with that. And then and only then do we say, okay, now that there's actually a medium in action, look what you did. Oh, do you realize that you just evidenced as a group your purpose of play?
Yeah, that makes
Right.
a lot of sense to me.
And then so I said, okay, you're right. Let's switch it all around. And also that solves just to get to things that I never, ever, ever want to talk about again, solves the entire simulationism bullshit, because those are the people who were struggling with the medium of play, and therefore obviously the only possible purpose of play they could perceive was to just get the fucking thing right, to get it to go. Right?
That
and
actually clicked a little thing in my head just right now, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, and that's why we never have to discuss it again. Thank you. So anyway,
generally speaking, when the medium works, what I found is that people will sort of gravitate to their own playing on purpose anyway.
Yeah. And this is one reason why Vincent actually wanted to stop talking about it, but I do think that that's not really as I'm not as dismissive toward it as that. It is true that once you start playing with purposes that are functional and fun, you really don't want to talk about them. That's true. You're like, why bother? So, okay. I would like to say to everybody, thank you so much for helping me with this. I've got a lot to work with and think about. And I will say good night and take care.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye and good night.
Catch you later.
Thanks for this one.
Get out of the channel, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.